increasingly over the last 2 years, Kino Casino has covered the quartering in a negative way, making fun of him, you know, drama stuff about him. And from what I'm to understand, I don't know if I understand that situation fully, it got personal. It wasn't just about, oh, the quartering's content is garbage and stuff like that. It got more into, much like the casino always does, they got into his dirty laundry. They found the skeletons in this guy's closet, you know? When they're talking about Nick Rakita or whatever, they're not just talking about what he says as an internet lawyer. They're talking about the fact that he's doing drugs and getting arrested, right? Exactly. So, in regards to the quartering, from what I'm to understand, they got deep into personal stuff regarding him and his family. It wasn't just him, but it's him and his family members and things like that. Well, I can kind of say, yeah, I kind of get it, because that's exactly what they did to me. If you guys don't remember, that's why I stopped working with them, because they kept saying insulting things about my wife for literally no reason. Like, my wife's not part of my content. She's not part of the conversation with them. Why are they insulting my wife? Oh, because they think they could just get away with whatever they want, and everyone's going to like it. Well, I didn't like it, and I said, I don't have to work with you anymore. I hold all the power in this situation, and I cut the cord, and I left, and haven't worked with them since, right? Well, the quartering basically said, I guess for what I'm to understand publicly, he said publicly, listen, I am not going to let you guys do this to my family. It's one thing if you are insulting me, if you're insulting my business, and to be honest, I like you guys and I like watching your content. I even like you guys making fun of me. I think it's funny. I get it. Everyone gets a turn to be made fun of, right? But the fact that you are making it so public, this private stuff, this personal stuff that is not part of my content, right? That's where I draw the line. Now, did he just say, well, I'm not going to talk with you guys or work with you or ignore you? No. He basically made very public threat. Well, I guess it wasn't public threats. It's so weird and convoluted. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole situation. From what I'm to understand, the quartering started talking to Josh Moon. I don't get that at all. Like, do you guys remember Josh Moon, the guy who I did an appearance on Kino Casino with? He's the guy who owns Kiwi Farms. So maybe he talked to Josh Moon, I guess because the private stuff about his family was on Kiwi Farms or something. I don't know. I mean, I had the conversation with Josh Moon, and we got nowhere. Like, essentially, Josh is of the impression that everything and anything can be on Kiwi Farms, and there's no absolute, you know, limit to it whatsoever. He thinks that Kiwi Farms is the best website on the internet. He's nuts. I mean, to be frank with everyone, he's fucking nuts. Like, the guy has no moral compass whatsoever. And because of that, it's dangerous to have that kind of power in the hands of someone who has absolutely no morals or values and just thinks that everything is for the giggles. And, you know, it's messed up. Okay? Just being honest. But I said as much, right? And at the time, we kind of agreed to disagree. Now, I said, listen, I don't hate the guy, but what am I going to do? I'm just not, again, just like with the casino, I'm not going to deal with him. I'm not going to talk about him or whatever, right? So that's where we've left it. Like, I haven't talked to Josh Moon or said a word about him basically since. I don't really care. I have nothing to do with it. I'm moved on. I'm good, right? Here's the truth. If you're doing well for yourself, why do you care what other people say? Okay? When did it bother me when people were constantly talking shit about me? Because I wasn't doing well. Because my content was being stolen. I wasn't getting enough profits or views on the content I was putting out. I was struggling financially. And it drove me nuts. It made me get stressed out. It made me constantly rage about my situation and whine and bitch and complain about it. I've been doing good now for 2 years. I don't give two shits about any of these people. I don't care what they put on any website. I don't care what they say in any video or any fucking Christmas special. Who cares? I'm doing good. That's all I care about. So, to hell with what the internet says, right? I understand you're not going to please all the people, and there's always going to be people who rag on you in life. That's part of being a public figure. All right? So if you have that problem and you don't want to be ragged on, then don't be a public figure. Go to the private sector. Go get a regular job. Go get a 9-to-5. You know, do normal work. Don't be in front of thousands of people every day for scrutiny and skepticism. And then you won't have that level of harassment, right? I know that, and I've accepted it. So every day when I come on here and you guys make fun of me, I'm like, well, whatever. Who cares? I'm doing good for myself. Why do I give a shit about any of that? You know what I mean? I shouldn't. But I guess the Quatering could not accept that. All right. And the Quatering, I guess, in a conversation to Josh Moon, supposedly, said, listen, I've had enough. I'm not going to allow those guys to talk about my family anymore. They can talk about me. They can talk about my content, but they're not going to talk about my family. Therefore, I am now making basically this like ultimatum, all right, that they're going to take down any clips about my family. And if they don't, I'm going to use my contacts, my business contacts on the internet to take them down, to essentially take everything they own, okay? So he outright said that to Josh Moon. I don't know why he said it to Josh Moon and not the casino. Maybe he wasn't talking directly with them, and I guess Josh Moon was the intermediary or whatever, all right? So, of course, the casino laughed it off and said, what's he going to do, you know? Well, again, this is just me trying to understand the situation because I don't really understand it fully because I haven't fully researched it. But from what I'm to understand, I guess he did actually do exactly what he said he was going to do. He put his money where his mouth was. And the Kino Casino Clips channel, you know, the channel that does highlights on YouTube of Kino Casino, which is exclusively streamed on Kick, this channel gets good views. They put out, you know, clips, like a clip, 2 clips a day. Each clip gets 10,000, 20,000 views. So this channel arguably is probably making like $10,000 a month in revenue and probably makes them over $100,000 a year as a side thing. It's not even their main focus, but they're making this side bank. Now, for the record, Andy and Ashton do not own the Kino Casino Clips channel. It is owned by their editor. Their editor runs it for them, all right? And they get some of the money from the channel, but they don't own the channel. And this is the technical aspect of it that a lot of people are confused about. Because you might say, why is that? Why don't they own this Clips channel? In fact, why doesn't Kino Casino stream on YouTube themselves? From what I'm to understand, at one point, Andy was banned on YouTube. He had a YouTube channel and he had a YouTube presence, and he got banned from YouTube. I have no clue for what reason. I don't know. I never looked into it. But I guess he did something egregious, and YouTube banned his channel. Now, when you're banned on YouTube like that, you're not allowed to operate multiple businesses and things. You're just banned. So because he was banned for, I guess it was like community issues. It was like copyright strikes. It was like community issues. Like he was breaking YouTube's terms of service, okay? If he were to try to open up another channel, YouTube would ban that one too. But there's a loophole to this. The loophole, I call it the Keemstar loophole. And the reason I call it that is because Keemstar himself used this loophole many years ago to still make content on YouTube while he himself was banned from being a YouTuber, okay? As long as someone else owns the channel, you can be in the content of said channel, and that's not breaking YouTube's terms of service. Hence, if someone has a Clips channel of Kino Casino and Kino Casino only broadcasts over on Kick, right? Then that means that that channel can operate. Legally, it's allowed. Per the terms of service, per everything, it's allowed. So whoever this editor is who works for Kino Casino had the legal right to own this Clips channel and operate it, even if Andy was banned from YouTube, okay? So I guess what happened was Kino Casino, after hearing this ultimatum, made a big joke of it. Ha ha ha, big deal, who cares, right? We're going to keep doing what we do, which is what they always do. You know, they're not afraid of anything. They're big and they make good money and they have a great following. So they're going to do whatever the hell they want and they feel like they're immune. Who gives a shit, right? Well, from what I'm to understand, the Quatering did follow through. And the Kino Casino Clips channel was flagged as a violation of YouTube's terms of service because of ban evasion. And this is what doesn't make sense. How could the channel be ban evading if the person who owns and operates the channel isn't banned from YouTube? So come to find out, some more research was done, and Andy found out his channel, his YouTube channel, had been unbanned from YouTube like 6+ months ago. I guess he knew about it, but he didn't publicly talk about it because he had no plans to use the channel or anything. It just kind of sat there. The channel had been rebanned, and he didn't even know because he wasn't paying attention to it. And it got rebanned, and then after his channel got rebanned, then the Clips channel got banned. So putting two and two together here, what it sounds like happened was someone, is it the Quatering or someone else? Who knows? Got YouTube to reanalyze Andy's original YouTube channel after it had been unbanned, found another thing that violated YouTube's terms of service on it, got it rebanned, then convinced YouTube that the Clips channel was actually Andy's other channel and got the Clips channel banned too. Now, it's funny because some people are like, who could it have been? Well, obviously, the Quatering is prime suspect number one, but you do realize that the casino has a lot of enemies. They do, okay? They really do. And maybe there is a very, 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 very slim chance that it wasn't the Quatering and it was someone else taking advantage of this situation and this public feud to do it. But yeah, in the court of public opinion, that doesn't really matter. The Quatering had this public feud with the casino, and so it's obvious if someone was going to do it, it likely was going to be him. He was the one bragging to Josh Moon saying, I have all these connections and all this power, and I could do this if I so choose. I could shut them down, right? So, what's happened is, because this happened, did you think that the casino was not going to talk about it? Of course not. This is called the Barbra Streisand effect. What you don't want to be talked about will only be amplified and made massively public by tenfold if you pull something like this. So the casino decided to say, hey, to hell with this, we're going to war. And they blew this up on their show. And immediately everyone started to cover the issue and clip it. People started to go to all the Quatering's content and flag him and say, hey, how dare you do this, right? And then people started to clip the casino show. They started to clip the Quatering, and the clips were all over the internet, okay? From what I'm to understand, again, I'm just trying to understand the situation. I could be wrong on any of this, and it's fine, you know, factually call me out if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to understand it at a big picture perspective. Supposedly, the Quatering then started flagging other people for harassment. Okay, so it wasn't, oh, I'm flagging the casino for ban evasion anymore. Apparently, he started flagging clippers on the internet or anyone who covered this issue, like talking about the Quatering's personal family stuff, which I haven't. I actually don't even know what it is. I don't give a shit. I don't want to know about it. Okay, I don't. But apparently, anyone who brought this up, okay, was then in their video getting their videos flagged for harassment purposes. Which means that, you know, YouTube terms of service violation, oh, harassment, this video has a harassing part in it, so the video's been taken down or whatever. Okay? So it wasn't just going after the casino, but then when the Streisand effect happened and everyone started to publicly talk about the Quatering's personal business in a public forum, he started flagging anyone who was doing it as well. So now the fear is that if anyone actually talks about the issues, the personal issues that people have with the Quatering, that he's going to hit you with a harassment claim and shut down your video and possibly your channel. Okay? So I think, am I to understand, in general, do I understand the situation? Because before I give any opinion on it, I need to make sure that I'm understanding the situation. In a nutshell, do I at least have a summary understanding of this? Or am I wrong? Am I off on a few points? I'd like to be corrected if I'm wrong before I come to any kind of a opinion on it. Okay? Bilbo Beggin says you don't really understand anything. Well, that's just wrong, so now you're banned. What's up, Chris? Well, you see, that's the thing. I don't know about the personal issues, nor do I care. I don't even want to talk about them. Because that's not really the issue here, right? Someone else's dirty laundry or personal issues is none of my concern. I don't give a shit. You know me, I'm not a drama guy. I don't give a fuck about that. What I care about what is actually going on in this situation with the YouTube flagging and all of that, right? And by the way, I have shout-outs to do, and I will do them before the morning show ends. I promise you all. Okay? Okay, so someone said, Andy's channel was unbanned with no strikes against it when it was flagged. Terms of service is different from copyright. I think this is a key point that people are not understanding. When it comes to copyright, there's a 3 strikes rule on YouTube where first strike, okay, it's like a warning. Second strike, you get things taken away. Third strike, your channel's banned until you get some of the strikes reversed. We're talking terms of service. That's very different. At any given moment, someone on YouTube who works for YouTube can say your channel violated terms of service and just shut your whole channel down. And all you can do is try to appeal and prove otherwise. And if you don't, your channel's gone. That's how YouTube's terms of service work. There's no levels of escalation. There's no 3 strikes, you're out. On YouTube, if you fuck up bad, you're done. You're toast. You're brown bread. That's just how it is. Okay? Exactly. Indefinitely suspended. And it's weird because depending on what you get shut down for, it looks different. Sometimes it could just say this channel's not available. Sometimes it'll say this channel's been terminated. Like I've seen different things on YouTube. If it's like really egregious, it'll say your channel is terminated. That means you really are in bad shape and you may not ever get it reversed at all. In general, people who have their channels shut down usually eventually get them back. Even if you just let time expire, usually it's after a while, it won't be a big deal and you can get something reversed. Okay? I've had things many, many years ago. I had things against the DSP gaming channel. All right. That was like, oh, something I said, oh, they didn't like that. They flagged it. You wait a couple years, you appeal it, and then they'll remove it. Okay, so it's not endless, but sometimes you could get permanently terminated. Okay? So, so everyone is saying I do have a good understanding or a general understanding of what happened. Okay? So, what it sounds to me, what happened here, is that, as usual, Kino Casino went after the Quatering like they go after everyone. Now, you guys know my opinion on this, right? Again, I've said the same thing that the Quatering said, that, listen, if they want to go after me, they want to go after my content, they want to go after my looks, they want to go after anything that I put in front of this camera every day, they have a right to. Because I'm the one who chooses to become a public figure and do this for a living, and I make a good living doing it, right? But that means that I'm in front of the public eye. Scrutiny and spectacle is part of that. And I have to understand that and roll with it. And you have to have really thick skin to be a public streamer that's going to be successful, because you're going to have people coming after you. All right? And there's not much that you can really do about it. You just got to accept that. All right? I knew that when I broke off my ties with Kino Casino a little over a year ago, that this was going to be a year of harassment. And I said, I don't care, because I'm not going to pay any attention to it. And I know that most of you out there also don't care. Anyone who's actually a fan of mine doesn't give a shit about this. So why would I care? Let them say and do whatever they want. Let them make specials. Let them harass me and my family. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't affect me if I ignore it. And that's the truth. For a whole year, I ignored it, and it literally never affected me. The only time it ever did is when a bunch of idiotic morons would come into the chat and spam with whatever they were doing that particular day. And I would say, I don't care. And then ban the idiot and then move on with my day, and we'd be good. Okay? Now, to be honest with you, I think that's what any intelligent adult should do. Okay? That's my take. The best way to put up with an internet bully is to just fucking ignore them. Okay? There's a difference between what Kino Casino does and what other people do. And here's what I mean by that. Kino Casino talks shit. Kino Casino tries to expose personal shit, right? They really are an internet drama show. They're trying to be like TMZ on the internet. They're kind of like what Keemstar used to do with Drama Alert, maybe times 10 in some cases. They're like the new group doing it that's hot and popular for doing it, correct? I think it's a good assessment, okay? People find what they do entertaining or whatever. But if you just ignore it, not much is going to happen, all right? In the case of my case, right? I ignored it. Did Kino Casino come after me in my livelihood? Did they try to get my channel shut down? Did they try to take money out of the mouths of my wife and my cat and me? Did they try to steal everything? You know what I'm saying? Did they try to get me shut down? No. They didn't do anything like that. What the truth is, I think they understand the game. Okay? And what do I mean by that? They understand that if they keep it going, if they just keep it going, they can keep making content, right? If you shut down the person you're making fun of, how could you have content to make for your own purposes, your own profits? You need that person to keep making content so they can keep making content on them and profit from it. Okay? Some detractors don't get that. Actual detractors will try to do fucked up stuff. They'll try to steal money. They'll try to shut you down. They'll try to hit you with false copyright strikes. They'll try to do messed up stuff to ruin your reputation that actually does hurt your business. All right? I don't think that Kino Casino has ever done that. They just wanted to make a buck on my name, and so they do so. Okay, do I agree with that? No. Do I think that's immoral? Yes. Would I do it myself? Of course not. But I can't really stop them. And I'm not going to go to extreme measures to try to shut them down from doing it. I'm just going to say, ignore it and move on with my day. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm successful. Why do I give a shit about what they're saying about me when I'm still successful, right? I don't know why the Quatering is taking a different opinion on this or a different direction. I'm actually, like, a little lost. Like, what happened that was so egregious that he felt that he's taking this into his own hands? Again, oh, for the record, I should say this for the record. Apparently, he publicly keeps saying he didn't do it. Even though he's on record with a conversation with Josh Moon outright saying, I will do it. I will use my power to do this. He claims he hasn't done it. He's tried to show that he hasn't flagged any channels on his streams and stuff like that. So he's trying to say it's not me. Okay? But, like I said, who else would it have been unless you have someone who's really trying to take advantage of this particular timing and situation to do it? And wouldn't that be an incredible coincidence that all of this stuff was already lined up to happen, and now someone jumped on it at exactly the right time to make it look like the Quatering did it all and it wasn't really him? Maybe the Quatering is just the most unlucky dude on the planet. Maybe he is. Maybe it really is someone framing him and he's not doing it. I don't know. I have no evidence of anything. I don't think anyone does. We're all just guessing and assuming based on the information that's been made public on the internet, right? But here's the thing. Now we're actually going to get to the real meat of the issue and the opinion, all right? So, like I said, my opinion is if you don't like someone, if you want to go back at them and start a feud and benefit from it, that's one way to go at it. The other way is to ignore them. I do not believe in attacking someone's livelihood. I do not believe in attacking someone's, business source of income, whatever you may say it is. I don't believe in that at all. And particularly, I don't believe in it if you're actually doing it with underhanded means. For example, let's say that the Quatering actually felt like Kino Casino was slandering him or defaming him with the things that they were saying publicly on their show. Well, he has a legal right to take them to court for that. There's a court system in place just for this kind of thing. You get a lawyer, you lawyer up, you show what's been said, you say this is all defamatory or slander, whatever it is, because I don't know. It would also be international law because they broadcast from Canada and Kick is based in Canada, so you'd have to have a U.S.-Canada law thing. We'd have to figure it out. But that's the avenue that he could have taken. He could have said, let's legally go into this, and I feel like I've been, slighted, and this needs to be taken care of this way. If he decided not to do that, but instead, I'm going to go behind the scenes, and I'm going to pull this, real fast one on you. Like a sleight of hand almost, right? Like, I'm going to see that Andy's channel's unbanned, and I'm going to get it rebanned, and then as it's being rebanned, I'm then going to flag another channel that we all know isn't owned by Andy, but convince someone at YouTube that it is, and then say that it's ban evading when we know it's not. That's pretty dastardly. Like, that's some Dick Dastardly, curly mustache, villain, tying a woman and tying her to the fucking train tracks kind of level of shit. Like, that's some fucking underhanded, dirty shit. And I guess my question would be, how the hell did he pull it off? Who does he have on the inside at YouTube working this stuff? Because, again, from everything we've been told up to now, the Kino Casino Clips channel was never, ever owned or controlled by Andy. Maybe we've been lied to, and maybe it was. But if it wasn't, that YouTube channel should have a registration of a name and an address if it's made ad revenue. The AdSense account has a name and an address, and as long as neither of those are registered to Andy, it doesn't matter what content is on the channel, you can't get that channel for ban evasion. Okay? However, I will say this. I feel like, sadly, being such a public spectacle like they are, Kino Casino kind of worked against themselves in this situation, and here's what I mean. I know the way YouTube works, okay? The way YouTube works is YouTube only cares about the legality of a situation based on the information it has. So, the moment that Kino Casino clips got flagged and shut down for ban evasion, all YouTube will care about is speaking to the person who is legally registered as the person who owns the channel, period. And literally no input from anyone else matters, because they know legally only that person is the legal party involved. They don't give a shit about what anyone else says. So when the entire internet started flagging the Team YouTube Twitter account, and you had people saying, oh, I'm going to go out and reach behind the scenes, and I'm going to do this and that, that just made the situation 10 times worse. Because all YouTube wants to do is talk directly to the person who owns the channel to get to the bottom of the situation. They don't want to be inundated with 7,000 people bothering them with bullshit that they don't understand. So I actually feel like the whole public outcry that happened, it helped the casino because now they have the public on their side. And from what I'm to understand, they've had some of the most profitable streams they've ever had in their history in the last 2 weeks as a result of this. But at the same time, and the whole process of getting this channel unbanned, I think it worked against them. Because knowing how YouTube works, all that white noise going on, they don't want to be involved in that shit at all. All they want to do is talk directly to the person who legally owns it, see evidence that they own it or don't. Like right now, in my opinion, the best way to go about it would have been don't talk about it yet. Say we're working on it, and when it's resolved, we'll let everybody know. And then have their editor, if he indeed is the person who owns the channel, go to YouTube and say, here's all my information to prove my identity. Here's my AdSense. Here's this. I am not Andy. I don't know why you think I am, but legally, here's the evidence. And then even if he needed to, get a lawyer up, and have the lawyer get involved so the lawyer can have notaries and everything prove that this guy is who he is and he's not Andy. And then through that method, I think that the channel could have gotten unbanned. And if you want to know my honest opinion, I think it already could have been unbanned. But I think because it was such a big public hoopla, now it's become so convoluted. And for what I'm going to understand also, that I guess they already did their appeal and the appeal got denied. That's bad. Because YouTube basically will not give you 20 chances to appeal. You know what I'm saying? They just let you do it like the one time, and if you can get it cleared up, great, and if not, you're screwed. So I think what happened is they rushed to appeal right away thinking, oh no, we're in the good, this is no problem. And it actually backfired because they had all this public spectacle going on and a million people trying to reach out to YouTube. I think maybe it might have made the situation worse. And that sucks because that's a channel that had tons of following, had tons of, views and stuff. And that's stuff that they're going to lose. And if they're going to do it again, they have to build it up again. And what's to say, whatever happened, right? What's to say it might not happen again? Like, let's say that this editor decides to make another channel, or another person decides to make another channel, and this is their new clips channel. What's to say someone doesn't try to do it again? What they really need to do, which I don't know if they have the ability to do, they need to get Andy's channel unbanned. Because that seems to be the root cause of all of their problems right now. If that channel gets unbanned, then they can't have anyone saying that there's any kind of ban evasion. But how do you get it unbanned? Why was Andy's channel banned to begin with? Okay? So, in my opinion, the best way to go about taking care of internet bullying and trolling is very simple. You ignore it, or you choose to go back and clap back and benefit from it. There's two options. I guess the Quatering took a different option. At least that's what everyone is saying. I don't know if there's evidence, but that's what everyone is saying, is that he took another option and he's done this underhanded stuff on YouTube to try to get back. And now he's flagging other channels as well, supposedly. And I don't know if it's true or not. I've seen no evidence of it, obviously. But people are saying, yeah, this is the case. This is what's happening. Okay? I don't stand for that. And here's why. When you abuse the system, a couple things happen. Number one, you expose the system for its shortcomings. If the Quatering actually has found a way to abuse YouTube's system and fool it into thinking that someone's ban evading, that's a bad thing. We need YouTube systems to work and be safe. We can't have people abusing them, because then it leads to my second point. Other people will now take advantage. Do you see what I'm saying? If this indeed is what happened and it worked, what's to stop someone else now from stepping up and saying, well, he found the loophole, time for us to use it on everyone we don't like. And all of a sudden, big YouTubers getting shut down for ban evasion when they're not actually evading anything, right? So that's a huge problem for everyone. That's not just a problem for the quartering. That's not just a problem for the casino or any of these clip channels. That's a problem for literally every YouTuber who's ever uploaded to YouTube. That if there is this loophole that, you know, it needs to be closed, this is really messed up. All right? It's that simple. Okay? So, you guys know my opinion on the casino. I don't like them. I don't like the content they make. They bully me. I just ignore them. That's the best way to approach it, in my opinion. If you're already happy and successful, why do you care what they say? Right? So that's what I don't understand about the whole situation. If this is true, because again, this is all just speculation. If it's true, then why did the quartering take the route that he did? If he's successful and he's happy and everything's good, then why does it matter what they say about him? Just go on your merry way and ignore those jokers. You know? Like most people do. I'll admit some people do go back and clap back at them and get into feuds with them, and they love that because that just gives them more content, right? Just ignore them and move on, and that's fine. But he chose a different path, and I don't know, man. I don't know what happened there. I don't. Okay. All right, let's do shout-outs, and then let's get